Magandang araw mabuhay. I am Elamae Godinez and we are the Group 3. And our assigned topic is all about the Asian regionalism. For our introduction, we have globalization and regionalization re-emerged in the 1980s and intensified after the Cold War in 1990s. Globalization and regionalization is the two important concepts to our economy and politics. It evolves especially year 1980s after the Cold War. So they may seem opposite because the globalization is a worldwide integration and regionalization focus on regional cooperation. Globalization refers to a process ng pag-integrate ng economic, cultural, and politics ng mga bansa all over the world. While regionalization refers sa process ng pag-integrate ng ekonomiya at politikal ng mga bansa in a particular region. Globalization at regionalization ay dalawang magkaibang concept but hindi sila magkasalungat. Ang regionalization ay maaring maging way into globalization where countries in one region is nag-integrate muna bago sila nakikipag-ugnayan sa ibang mga region. However, ang regionalization is maaari ding maging barrier sa globalization kung ito ay nagli-lead into protectionism and discrimination against countries that are not part of the region. So next is we have regionalization sometimes limits global economic benefits by favoring local partners. So, nangangahulugan nito na ang mga bansa in a particular region is nagbibigay sila ng priority sa mga local na negosyo and kalakalan instead na mag-open sila into global market. So next is what is regionalism? So regionalism is a concept that refers to the expression of a shared identity and purpose, and it involves institution and cooperation within a specific region, and it promotes collective action among neighboring countries. It also aims to promote unity and cooperation among countries to achieve common goals and interests. So the next one is the Asian regionalism. So it began with the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or the APEC in the 1989. So noong 1989 pala na itatag ang Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or the APEC. Basically, para palakasin ng cooperation and ekonomiya ng kalakalan sa rehiyon ng Asia. It also encouraged economic cooperation and development in the Asia-Pacific. So, nagkaroon din ng mas matatag na samahan yung bawat region. And stabilized markets and address shared issues like health, safety, and environment. Ang mga organisasyong ito ay patuloy pa rin na nakakatulong sa pag-unlad ng rehiyon sa Asia, katulad na lamang ng APEC or Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation na naglalayon na palakasin ang kalakalan at ekonomiya sa rehiyon ng Asia. And other one is the ASEAN or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations na naglalayon na palakasin ang kooperasyon sa pagitan ng mga bansa sa Asia. So in summary, ang Asian regionalism ay isang patuloy na process ng pagtutulungan at cooperation sa pagitan ng mga bansa sa Asia upang palakasin ang ekonomiya, kalakalan at iba pang mga larangan.
Magandang araw mabuhay. So for today, let's tackle about the imperative for Asian regionalism. So, what is Asian regionalism? Asian regionalism refers to the growing cooperation, integration, and collaboration among Asian countries in areas such as trade, finance, security, and social-cultural development. In recent decades, Asia has become one of the world's fastest-growing regions, and its rapid growth has created a strong need for nations to work together. The imperative or the urgent need for Asian regionalism arises because of shared challenges and opportunities can be better addressed which countries cooperate rather than act alone. The first imperative that we will tackle is the boosting economic growth. So when Asian countries work together through trade agreements, shared infrastructure projects, and technology exchange, they create a stronger combined economy. Cooperation increases investment opportunities and help reduce poverty across the region. So, for example, the ASEAN. The ASEAN stands for Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Second is strengthen financial markets and ensure stability. Asia has experienced several financial crises in the past, such as the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Regionalism allows countries to build safety nets, share financial information, and coordinate economic policies to prevent future instability. For example, RCEP, that stands for Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is the world's largest free trade agreement involving 15 Asia Pacific countries. It lowers tariffs and creates a unified market that boosts regional supply chains. Third is diversify global demand and reduce economic risk. So, by cooperating, Asian economies can expand their markets and reduce dependence on Western economies. This helps cushion the region against global recessions or disruptions in major markets. So, for example, Asian financial crisis 1997. This crisis pushed Asian countries to establish safety mechanism like the Shanghai Initiative, which provided emergency financial support to member countries. So, the fourth is provide leadership in open trade and finance. Asia is becoming a global economic hub through regional organizations like ASEAN and agreements like RCEP. ASEAN countries can lead the promotion of fair, open, and sustainable trade. So, for example, the COVID-19 pandemic response. Asian countries shared medical supplies, vaccines, and coordinated border measures, showing how regional cooperation can help in health crises. So, the fifth is build regional mechanisms for shared global challenges. Issues like climate change, pandemics, and natural disasters, and cybersecurity threats require joint solutions. Regionalism strengthen the capacity of corruption to respond together efficiently. In this slide, this shows how Asian grew over time. When ASEAN was created in 1967, it started with 5 founding countries: the Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. These countries worked together to form ASEAN because they wanted peace, cooperation, and development in Southeast Asia. So for our next topic is the Asian Regional Organization. ASEAN, or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, was formed on August 8, 1967 in Bangkok, Thailand. It started when several Southeast Asian countries signed the Bangkok Declaration. Today, ASEAN is made up of 10 countries in Southeast Asia. The main goal of this organization is to help these countries work together, not just in politics and security, but also in the economy, education, culture, and overall development.
So my part is all about the aims and purposes of Asian regionalism. So there are the 5 aims and purposes of Asian regionalism. The first one is accelerate economic growth and cultural exchange by the joining efforts and equality at partnership. Ito rin ay nag-promote ng collaboration sa iba't ibang sektor tulad ng mga social, economics, and cultural at maging sa administrative fields. Yung example dito yung is RCEP, which means Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, na inulunsad noong 2022 ng ASEAN at ng 15 countries. Ito ini-aim niya yung is cutting tariffs or harmonizing rules that it can boost trade at makapag-attract ng maraming investments na naglilid niya sa pagtaas ng economic growth sa iba't ibang sektor. Habang pre-preserve naman nito yung policy space ng mga smaller members that can lead to develop the infrastructure at cultural exchange ng bawat programs. So our second aims and purposes of Asian regionalism is promote regional peace and stability. So ito ipinaka-aim niya talaga, prevent conflict through dialogue, trust buildings, and shared norms. Ito mini-maintain yung security by addressing common threats like tension. For example dito is yung South China Sea or SCS Code of Conduct COC negotiation. Dito yung context niya is overlapping claims ng China, Vietnam, Philippines, and Malaysia have sparked the tension for years. So, ibig sabihin may tension na sila over years na. Ang nangyari, ASEAN plus China has been negotiating since 2002 pa by aiming na set ng rules of negotiation at resource use. So, 'di ba may tension na sila. So, paano nito promote yung peace and stability? So, yung first na ginawa nila is yung dialogue platform. So, dito sa dialogue platforms, senior officials meeting keeps communication open. Open yung meetings nila for everyone by reducing sa mga misunderstanding na maaaring mag-lead sa clashes ng organization na meron sila. At syempre, gamit na rin yung commitment ng international law dito, reinforcing the rule-based framework instead of raw power politics. Ginamit nila yung international law instead sa mga political powers na meron sila. So, this is how process illustrate how regionalism tries to turn dispute into diplomatic talks rather than conflicts. So, gaano nila na-manage yung peace and stability sa organization na meron sila. They put diplomatic talks instead na mag-clashes yung mga members ng organization na meron sila. Or magkaroon ng conflict sa loob ng organization. So, the third one is the encourage mutual assistance and collaboration. Dito, it means help each other in terms of crisis like disaster or health related shared resources, knowledge and technology to boost development and resilience. For example, dito yung ASEAN plus 3 countries with each, China, Japan, and South Korea. COVID-19 response in Chiang Initiative Multiculturalization. Ito yung maganda kasi kapag nasa isang organization ka is kapag tumama yung isang crisis dun sa isang bansa, they put together in a collaboration para tulungan yung isang bansa na makabangon ulit. Like they share vaccine and the joint safety net of health solidarity. Tinutulungan nila na bumangon yung bansa, like yung pandemic. Siguro nabalita ay yung mga countries is nagtulong-tulong para ma-solve yung pandemic na meron tayo in the past years. The next is the improved trade, agriculture, and living standard. With this, boost trade by lowering tariffs, just like what I said in the past. Tariffs upgrade cultural through shared and resource a better supply chains na nakakapag preserve ng productivity and food security and living standard by generating job and higher income. So, yung example natin dito is yung RCEP, which is Regional Comprehensive Economic Productivity with tariffs, share agricultural tax, cheaper goods, higher farmer yields, more jobs, and infrastructure lifting living standard ng ASEAN partners. Dito, kapag yung isang bansa is tulad ng Japan, agricultural, improve yung agricultural structure niya. So, yung ibang bansa hindi nakakapag adapt ng kung anong meron sila. So, the pinaka-aim nito is more trade, smarter farming, and better livelihoods. So, di ba kapag yung upgrade na yung agricultural mo, mas mapapadali yung paglabas mo ng mga trade at syempre paglaki ng income mo, yung pagiging smart sa farming that can leads to a better livelihoods ng bawat tao that can access to a education or the health related sa mga nangangailangan. So the last one is the maintain cooperation with global and regional partners. So why pa i-maintain kung pwede namang sa global na lang? So this align policy standards and initiative so Asian economics stay integrated into supply global chains and institute strengthen their with external partners for security, trade, development, and climate action. So bakit nga ba need pa? So basically the policy standards ng global and then ng regional. So there's a chance na mag-change yung mga like yung standards ng bawat isa, which is yung policy. Kaya need pa rin na maging maintain yung cooperation mo within the global and regional partners. Just like that, dapat balance yung pag-engage mo into multiple partners, regional man yan or global para avoiding overdependence on any single power.
Magandang araw, mabuhay. My topic is Asian Community. Asian Community is a regional cooperation framework established by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN. It aims to strengthen political stability, economic integration, and socio-cultural cooperation among Southeast Asian countries. First is Asian Vision 2020. Asian Vision 2020, a long-term plan adopted in 1997 to make ASEAN peaceful, stable, and economically strong by the year 2020. Example po dito is Asian Vision 2020 aim for a drug-free ASEAN and lead to joint anti-drug campaign among countries like Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Second is 9th Asian Summit in 2003. Meaning is a major meeting where leaders agree to speed up the creation of the Asian community. During this summit, leaders launched the Bali Concord 2, which officially introduced the idea of forming the three Asian pillars, which is political, security, economic, and socio-cultural. Third is 12th Asian Summit in January 2007. 12th Asian Summit, January 2007, summit where ASEAN approved its blueprints and timelines for building the Asian community. And lastly, the Asian community is comprised of three pillars. First is Asian Political Security or APSC. APSC aims to keep the region peaceful, stable, and safe. It focuses on cooperation and political matters, security, and preventing conflict among Asian countries. Second is Asian Economic Community or AEC. AEC aims to create a single competitive regional market where goods, services, investment, and skilled workers can move easily among Asian countries. And lastly, Asian Socio-Cultural Community or ASCC focuses on improving the quality of life of the people in ASEAN by promoting educational healthcare, environmental protection, cultural understanding, and social welfare. Yun lang po. Good day everyone. Today I will be presenting about the EAS, which stands for East Asia Summit. The East Asia Summit is a unique leaders-led regional forum. It is leads annually and was originally composed of 16 countries from the East Asian, Southeast Asian, and South Asian region. Its membership expanded to 18 countries with the additional of Russia and the United States of America. Yung mga involved po dito na countries in the East Asia Summit, which is Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei Darussalam, Vietnam, Lao PDR, Myanmar, Cambodia, Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, Republic of the Korea, Russian Federation, and the USA. The EAS serves as a major platform for strategic dialogue and cooperation on important regional issues, promoting peace, stability, and economic growth across the Asia-Pacific region. Second is APEC, stands for Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. APEC is a regional economic forum that aims to promote free trade, economic growth, and cooperation among countries in the Asia-Pacific region. It focuses on improving economic ties, strengthening partnership, and creating more open and prosperous regional economy. APEC or APEC is composed of 21 member economies, which is yung member po na yun na countries. Ito po Australia, Brunei Darussalam, Canada, Chile, People Republic of the Philippines, Hong Kong, China, Indonesia, Japan, Republic of Korea, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Peru, the Philippines, the Russian Federation, Singapore, Chinese Taipei, Thailand, United States of America, and the Vietnam. APEC plays a major role in strengthening economic cooperation across the Pacific region by supporting policies that encourage innovation, trade, and sustainable development. And lastly, APEC, the Regional Economic Forum that brings together economies from the Asia-Pacific region. It was established in 1989 with the main purpose of supporting the growing interdependence among countries in the part of the world. The organizational focuses on strengthening economic ties, promoting free and open trade, and encouraging stable growth among its member economies. APEC plays a major role in helping its members respond to global challenges and in improving overall cooperation and development across the Asia-Pacific region.
APEC or the ASEAN Plus 3. So what is ASEAN Plus 3? ASEAN Plus 3 framework is the key pillars of East Asian regionalism. It is the cooperative process that brings together the 10 members of the Association of the Southeast Asian Nation and the 3 major Northeast Asian countries, which is the Japan, China, and South Korea. So it began in December 1997 and institutionalized in 1999 when the leaders issue a joint statement on East Asian cooperation and their third ASEAN summit in Manila. A form that functioned as the coordinator of cooperation between the ASEAN and the 3 East Asian nations. It addressed the mutual issues and concern in energy, security, natural gas and development, oil market studies and oil stockpiling and renewable energy. So, yung ASEAN Plus 3 is pinaka-goal niya is to stability ng economic growth and exchanging knowledge and technology maging sa agricultural or digital at ganun din sa pagiging ready sa mga disaster na pwede maranasan ng isang bansa. At nagtutulungan sila in case of there's a disaster na kasali sa Asian countries na nakaranas ng disaster. So, dahil dito, maaari nilang gamitin yung pondo na meron sila para tulungan yung isang bansa na makaangat. So, for example, is the energy security and oil stockpiling. Dahil sa over-concern sa energy and security, yung East Asian region ay nakadepende sa mga imported na oil at gas na ginagawa ito para maging vulnerable yung supply at disruption para sa price volatility. So, yung APT or the ASEAN Plus 3 works on a 2 fronts, which is, yung first is the certifying energy sources at establishing emergency response mechanism. Yung oil stockpiling is the key practical measure to build a resilience against supply shocks. So, for example, is yung Japan and South Korea at yung kanilang mature national oil resource, they sharing the technical expertise and policy experience para maka-establish at ma-manage yung mga strategy na kailangan gawin para sa commercial stockpiling with ASEAN countries, which is this can lead to yung knowledge na nabuo ng Japan at South Korea ay makakatulong para sa ibang members ng ASEAN countries. Para sa mga ASEAN members na lack of extensive knowledge pagdating sa mga infrastructure at policy framework na ginawa ng ibang bansa. With this knowledge na rin, they can build or develop their own national oil security and policies to ensure the buffer supply sa mga resources para matugunan na rin yung mga need ng kanilang bansa.
Magandang araw, mabuhay. So my topic is issues and concerns of Asian regionalism. The first one is health and security threats. These are problems related to public health and national security. When there are health risks or conflicts, the movements of people and goods become more difficult and expensive. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, travel bans and borders closures slowed down trade in Asia. Next is terrorism. Threats in some Asian countries lead to a stricter airport and border security. The next one is the next concerns and issues is the environmental damage. Environmental problems such as pollution and deforestation can force countries to make major changes in their economic policies. They also affect agriculture, industry, and public health. For example, is air pollution in China and India affects public health and forces industries to change production methods. The next is massive deforestation in Southeast Asia, increases flooding and threatens food supplies. Next is social instability. These are tensions and conflicts within societies can disrupt economic progress, and create uncertainty in the region. For example, the political crisis in Myanmar in 2021 affected ASEAN relations and regional stability. Next example is large protests in Hong Kong disrupted businesses and international investment. The next issues and concerns is the criticism and disputes. These issues involve disagreements among Asian countries. Many forums remain focused only on confidence building and have not advanced towards stronger diplomatic solutions and settled disputes. Examples is the South China Sea dispute affects relations between China and several ASEAN nations. Border conflicts between India and Pakistan cause long-term tension. Next is failure of regional trust building. Some regional groups fail to build enough trust among their countries, feel insecure, which can lead to an arms race. Examples: increased military spending by China, Japan, and South Korea due to growing regional tensions. Lack of trust among ASEAN members. Slow down security cooperations. The next issues is no regional humanitarian and disaster assistance mechanism. Asia still lacks a strong, unified system for responding to disasters or humanitarian emergencies. Most responses are handled individually by each country. For example, human rights violations and ethnic conflicts in Myanmar, restrictions on freedom of speech and press in some Southeast Asian countries. Next is Asian regionalism in the Philippines. Asian regionalism refers to the strong relationships with neighboring Asian countries. This is based on principles like friendship, peace, and cooperation, which are even written into the Philippines constitutions. The country is deeply committed to the goals of the One ASEAN, a united Southeast Asia, working together in areas like economic integration, making trade and business easier across borders. Next is regional peace, promoting diplomacy and avoiding conflicts. Next is socio-cultural cooperations, sharing cultures, traditions, and values to strengthen unity. The Philippines is also a founding member of ASEAN, or the Associations of Southeast Asian Nations, showing its long-standing leadership in regional collaborations. Example of regionalism in actions: hosting ASEAN summits. The Philippines has hosted major ASEAN meetings where leaders discuss regional issues like climate change, trade, and security. Participating in the ASEAN Free Trade Area. This helps reduce tariffs and boost trade between member countries. Next is cultural exchange. Filipino artists, students, and performers join ASEAN events to celebrate shared heritage, disaster response cooperations. The Philippines works with ASEAN neighbors to provide aid during typhoons, earthquakes, and other emergencies. Joint military exercises. These help improve coordinations and trust among ASEAN countries in maintaining peace and security. And that's all. Salamat, ingat po.